beginning with his stretch from November 13th to November 29th, a 9-game stretch in which he averaged 19 points per game, shot 52.2% from the 3-point line, yes, 52%, not to mention taking 8 of them per game, making 4 of them per game, even grabbing 5 rebounds per game, shooting 55.4% from the field, all around his best offensive stretch, even playing some decent defense though this time frame, starting in 6 of the 9 games throughout this time frame, and all around being the best stretch of Dalton Knecht's very young career so far, in which he can hopefully have many more of them, but this is definitely the best one to point to up until this point. And well, it began on November 13th against Memphis, in which Dalton Knecht put up 19 points on 5 of 5 3-point shooting from the 3-point line, a perfect 5 of 5, being a team high plus 17 off the bench for their team. And well, if you watch this game or remember back to it, Dalton Knecht really showed off what he can do and really made a statement for his young career. I mean, there are things they did out there that no other player on their team could do at that point, or even at this point too. For example, him curling off his screens and immediately knocking down 3-point shots, like this one during the early first quarter, him setting a back screen for D'Angelo Russell to cut to the basket, drawing attention away from him, and LeBron probably could have found D'Lo here, but instead the play design was for Dalton Knecht, and that's where it eventually went to. Knecht then curling off a screen from Christian Koloko, immediately catching it from LeBron and wasting no time to square his hips up with the rim, immediately going into his shooting motion, and even with a pretty good shot contest here from Luke Kennard, Dalton Knecht knocks it down. And well, that's really what Knecht did throughout this entire 9-game stretch, again shooting 52% from the 3-point line, and after that game against Memphis, he then got 4 games in the starting lineup, and throughout that 4-game stretch, he put up 24 points per game, yes, 24 points per game, on an absolutely insane 58% from the 3-point line, making nearly 5 of them per game on a 8.3 attempt per game clip, again starting in all 4 games for them, playing 35 minutes per game, and if Rui Hachimura hadn't come back from that, he probably would have stayed in the starting lineup, in which he eventually got back to, but this is definitely his best 5-game stretch throughout this entire regular season. And don't get twisted, it was not simply 3-point shooting and Knecht being on a hot streak, it was actually him doing some great backdoor cutting, running the floor, and finishing around the rim at a very high clip as well. Everything from play designs, him doing some timely backdoor cuts, running with both LeBron and Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht was doing it all out there on the court. And for example against San Antonio here we have Dalton Knecht running a play with LeBron and Anthony Davis, running it on the strong side while Cam Reddish and Austin are here on the weak side, trying to draw attention away from them. Dalton Knecht running through a back screen from Anthony Davis, LeBron having the ball on the wing here, waiting for Knecht to cut and eventually get to his spot to find him. You know, definitely not much room, but he does get the pass through to Dalton Knecht. Knecht gets the play at the rim, and although he misses it, gets the putback and puts it back at the rim for an easy 2 points. And then a few plays later, we have Dalton Knecht in the corner, where he often would stand and, kind of wait for a 3-point shot. But on this play with Anthony Davis and Austin drawing the attention of both the rim protector with Victor Wembanyama, and the help side defender from D'Angelo Russell's man here with Stephon Castle, that gives Dalton Knecht an opening to make a backdoor cut along the baseline, in which he gets from Anthony Davis and then throws down a dunk. Or then against the New Orleans Pelicans in their very next matchup, here we have Dalton Knecht with one of his best games of the entire year, dropping 27 points on 10 of 17 from the field, 5 of 10 from beyond the arc, not to mention having 7 rebounds to go with it. And although the 5 3-point shots did account for 15 of his 27 points, the other 12 came from him mainly running the floor and connecting with LeBron and Austin Reeves. Here is shown by him running the court directly with those two, Dalton Knecht running the kind of right side of the 3-man weave between LeBron, Austin, and Dalton Knecht himself, getting the pass from LeBron and then throwing down a dunk, and he definitely replicated that throughout the entire game here. Only a few plays later in the first quarter, here we have Dalton Knecht running the floor again, getting behind his defender in which Austin then finds them for an easy bucket at the rim. And that's definitely an overlooked part of Dalton Knecht's game in my opinion. Not only his ability to knock down 3-point shots and draw attention away from his teammates on offense, but then his ability to make timely backdoor cuts, his ability to finish at the rim and finish above the rim, both in the half court and the full court. This is something that Dalton Knecht did extremely well in this time frame, really showing it and really benefiting from playing with guys like LeBron, Austin, and Anthony Davis at that time who could find him, draw attention away from him, and they kind of reciprocate that attention and ability to demand attention on defense. That's what Dalton Knecht can do out there too. And another thing we got to see with Dalton Knecht in this stretch was with JJ Redick going into his playmaking bag to get Dalton Knecht open. I mean, after teams kind of figured him out and realized they couldn't leave him open, they got a bit more creative to try and defend him, which then led JJ Reg to get more creative to try and get him open. Here on this play, for example, and arguably in Dalton Knecht's best game of the entire season, this on a November 19th matchup with Utah in NBA Cup game for them, Dalton Knecht dropping 37 points on 9 of 12 from beyond the arc, in which he took some very difficult shots, but a few that were helped by JJ Reg drawing up plays for him and getting him at least slightly open, and here's one of them. Early in the third quarter here after halftime, Dalton Knecht sets a screen for LeBron to initiate a guard-to-guard handoff between Austin Reeves and LeBron, which is only a decoy to help Dalton get open. Dalton running around from the strong side to then the weak side here, followed up by a screen from Cam Reddish along the baseline, only to get him temporarily open from Colin Sexton, Knecht immediately catching it and then immediately shooting thereafter, which was actually contested pretty well by Colin Sexton, and yet Dalton Knecht made it even with that fraction of space created by that screen and attention drawn away from him. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.